Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another tutorial. For this one we are going to be building an online media converter that is able to convert any URLs that you paste here to either a video format or an MP3. I built this because I got tired of looking for different platforms to download either video from Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. I got tired of looking for different platforms that could do that for me. So I decided to build one for myself, and here is the finished product. With the help of Django and React, I made this particular product possible, and I'm going to be showing you how you can build this. You can use what I have built to build your own product and put it on live. Let's try to test run what we have built. If I copy this link of video I made on YouTube and paste it here, let's see what happens. Okay, so this is the video info how to check Python version in PC. Okay, it will ask me to choose the format and also select the quality of the video that I want to be converted. If I decide to change this to MP3, I can convert the video to MP3, but let's stick with MP4 and also stick with the best quality, which is 1kp. So convert video, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, our video has been converted. We can go ahead and download the converted file. So if I want to download this converted file, I will click on download converted file here.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to my reels, and in this one I'm going to show you how to check your...
Okay, so let's pause that and select download here. Boom, and our video will be downloaded. So let's go back to our platform, and we are back. If you want to convert another video, we can. If you have any other thing you want to convert, you can. So guys, without wasting your time, let's go to the backside. Let me quickly show you guys how to build this. So welcome back to the tutorial. Let's start building, but before we start building, I'm going to explain some of the libraries we are going to use to build our backend that's going to handle our converting process and also handle our downloading process. So one of the packages that we'll need for this particular video is the FFmpeg. The FFmpeg is a free and open source software project consisting of a suite of libraries and programs for handling video, audio, and other multimedia files and streams. So with FFmpeg, it will make it possible for us to be able to convert our video and also download our videos. Now, for you to get this FFmpeg to work with your Python, there are some certain things you will have to take note. So when you go to this FFmpeg.org, this particular platform, and you go to download, in the download you will select this Windows, where it will ask you to choose the Windows builds from gan.dev or from btbn. So for me, I'm using the gan.dev build, which is like a build of the full package of this FFmpeg that you're going to put in your environment variables in your system if you're using Windows. If you're using Mac, I think the process might be different, or if you're using Linux, it might be different. It might even be more straightforward. So just research the best way to get these particular packages on your system. But for Windows, I'm going to show you how to get it done. So for me, I have this package on my system already, so I'm going to show you how to add it to your system. So when you select this Windows build from gan.dev, when you open it up, it brings you to this page. Then you go over to the latest build. I think the latest is this one. So yeah, so the FFmpeg Git Essentials, you download this particular file. So let me click on it. Download is downloading. Okay, so when the download is done and you extract the file, this is the way it looks. For me, I have extracted the file and it is inside my documents as FFmpeg 2024-08 blah 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 stuff essential builds. And inside the package you have the bin folder, the docs folder, the preset folder, the license, and readme. When you have all these packages and you have extracted it to your preferred destination where you want it to be in your system, you copy the path. Let me copy the path of this build this way. But you will not just copy that one, you will copy the one for the bin. So open up the bin, you will see three packages: the FFmpeg, the FFplay, and the FFpro. So when you select and you open the bin, you will see these three packages. That means you have the right build for the Windows in your Windows system. So go ahead and copy this path. You have to paste it somewhere. Then let's go to our search, and in our search we are going to search for edit the system variables. So you open up this and you will go to your environment variables. In your environment variables, you come to your system variables. Under your path, you click on edit, and inside here you will add the path. As you can see, I have already added the path here, but let me show you how to add path in your environment variable. All you just need to do is add new here, then you add the path that you copied. Make sure you copy the right part of the file from where you put it in your system. So I'm going to delete this one since I have the path already. I don't need to duplicate it. When you do that, you click on OK, and you click on OK again, then apply. If there were changes, it will show apply, and thereafter you will click OK. For me, it's not showing that because I did not add any new path. So to make sure that you have installed the packages correctly, you open up your CMD. Inside your CMD here, what you're going to do is to type in FFmpeg, then dash version. You hit enter. It will bring up all this information, meaning that you have the right package in your system. So when you have this showing up in your system this same way, that means this FFmpeg package is now in your environment variables. You're good to go to the next stage. With this explanation out of the way, let's go back to VS Code. Now, inside our VS Code, we'll start installing other packages we'll need. I have already set up my virtual environment, so we'll not waste time. So the first package we'll need is the Django. Pip install Django, and we'll also use Django REST Framework because we are working with React. So I'm going to install Django REST Framework. While this is installing, we'll go back to our browser. There are other packages we'll need, and one of them is pip install. We'll install the FFmpeg Python, which is the Python package that will work with the FFmpeg package we have in our system. So make sure you install this package. I'm going to copy this, go back to my VS Code, and let me bring this up a little bit. This is still installing. Let's clear this. This is done installing. We'll paste this so we can install the FFmpeg Python. Enter. While this is installing, we'll go back here, and there's another package we'll need, and that package is the yt-dlp. And this particular package, okay, you know what, let's just search it from Google so that it will open it up. Pip install lp. So the yt-dlp is a rich command line for audio and video download with support for thousands of sites. It is a fork of the YouTube DL, and that's what we are going to be using. So make sure you install this package. As you can see, I'm going to copy this, come back to our VS Code and paste it so we can install it. Okay, now that the yt-dlp is done installing, the last package we need for our backend is the Django course headers. I believe you should know what that means if you have been following my tutorials on React and Django. The Django course headers is for cross-origin resource sharing in Django projects, and because we are going to be working with our front end separate from our backend, we will need to set up the Django course headers, allow interaction from both servers, because if we don't have that in our settings.py, our backend is not going to allow any cross-origin resource sharing to happen from our front end. Pip install Django course headers. Okay, now that we are done installing all these things, I'm going to quickly set up our project with Django admin start project. I'm going to call it media_converter. Okay, and I'll cd into media_converter. Okay, clear out this. Then let me bring down our terminal. Then we'll, okay, so before I close down the terminal, I will go ahead and also set up our one and only app that we will need. So I'm going to start app and call it converter for that purpose. Okay, now clear this out, close down my terminal and open up our project. We will come to our front end when we are done setting up the back end. I like to set up back end first before we deal with the front end. So the first thing I'm going to be setting up here is one, I'm going to add the converter app we created. Then I will also add REST_framework. Okay, then the last but not the least, I will add the course headers just like that. Now inside our middleware, after the section middleware, I'm going to add the course. Yeah, so let's paste this one, course headers.middleware.course middleware, just like this. Okay, don't need to add this line. Okay, Now the next thing we are going to do is to set the course origin allow all. Normally you're meant to set the particular origins you want to allow, but because we are just building for development purpose, I'm just going to allow all for now. But if I decide to ship this particular project later on, I'm going to specifically specify the origins I want to allow. So for the course origin allow, I'll set it to true. Then I'll also do course allows underscore credentials, set it to be true. Okay, thereafter the next thing I need to set here is for our media URL, because we'll be needing that since we are going to be working with URLs. And for this media URL, I'm going to set it to be media. And the last one is the media root, set it to be base directory, just put /media. Close this up. Now let's save. Our settings.py is done. Now let's start setting up our video converter function, which is going to be an API view. Then after that, we will set up our endpoints in our urls.py. So in our views.py, let me open up our views.py in our converter app. First thing I'm going to do is let's remove this and import OS. After OS, we will also import, I think we have already installed FFmpeg, so we'll import FFmpeg. We'll import from res_framework.views. We will import API view. Import API view. Nope. API view, because we are going to use that. The next thing I'm going to import is from res_framework, then dot response. We will import response. Then from res_framework, we will import status, because we are going to be using status codes. Then we will import the yt-dlp. We import yt_dlp. Then we import from Django, then .utils.test. We need to import Slugify, which will help us to sanitize our tests. So I'm going to import Slugify here. Okay, so those are the imports we'll need. Now the first function I'm going to create is for our video info. So for this particular function, I'm going to call it class video info. You can add view if you want, but video info is okay. Inside this video info class, I'm going to do def post, function post, then request self, then we'll do arguments, keywords, arguments. Inside this function, I'll first of all set the URL, which is going to be request.data.get the URL. And the next thing I'm going to do is to check if not URL. I will return a response error. Video URLs is required. Then set the status to be status.http_400/request. Thereafter, we'll use try and accept. Inside the try, I will use with yt-dlp, then we will get YouTube DL, okay, underscore, then we initialize this function. What I will do here is I will set this as ydl. Okay, I don't know, why did I add this underscore here? I don't need that underscore, and this should be capital L. Okay, so inside here I will set the info to be, okay, let's extract all this information here. But what I'm going to do is that the way this info is setting, okay, you know what, let's do it one after the other instead of using what tab line is showing. The first thing I'm going to do here is to do ydl, then dot extract info. Okay, but I don't need all these ones yet. I want to show you guys what I'm doing. So inside this our extract info, I'm setting the URL and also setting the download to false, because at this moment what we are just trying to do is to extract the info. The next thing I'm going to do is to get the video underscore info. Then I will set this as a JSON format, and the first thing I'm going to do is to get title. For the title, I'm going to set it to be info.get title, comma, then unknown title, comma. The next one I will set for the duration. For the duration, you know what, let me just copy this. I want to move fast, paste this here. But for this one, I'm going to change this to be duration, then I'm going to change this to be unknown duration. Okay, so the next one we also need is the thumbnail. For the thumbnail, I'm going to do info.get thumbnail, but for this one I'm going to leave it as an empty string, then close this. Thereafter I will return a response, video info, then status http. Okay, now let me set my accept. Set the accept. For my accept, I'm going to use exception as e, and I will return error string e, then status.http 500 internal error. So that means something is definitely wrong. Okay, when we do this, I have set up my video info. Let me save this. Now the next function I'm going to set is the one that's going to convert our video. So for the convert video, I'm going to set class convert video, and for this one I'm also going to use API view. So for this we will do post again, self request, but for this time I don't need the argument and keywords argument. Self and request is fine. First, set the URL to be equals to request.get. Nope, this should be request.data.get URL. Next, we will get the format equals to set request.data.get format. We will also get quality. For quality, request.data.get quality. Okay, if it is not the URL or not the right format, so I will do if not URL or not format or not quality, but I don't need to use quality, just the two is okay for me to understand what's going on at this moment. What I will do is to return error. All fields are required, or missing URL, whatever. I can just leave it this way. This error serves the purpose of what I want to do. Thereafter, I will extract the video from YouTube, and to extract the video from YouTube, I'm not going to extract it this way. So this function is wrong, and to save time I'm just going to delete, but I like the try that he put up for me for there. So what I will do is to do the same thing with yt-dlp, then .youtube-dl, then as ydl, just like the way we did it for the video info function. I'll go ahead and set info to be ydl dot extract info URL, then download to first. Set title to be info.get, not just info, unknown title. Okay, but let's use tuple here. Okay, this is byt, not yl, then .youtube-dl. After we do this, I'm going to set our accept the same way, and inside here I'm going to return this failed to download video. Set this, but let me bring this here so you guys can see it. We are using the status to set the internal server error. Once this is done, generate a unique file name for the converted video, or sanitize the title to be file system friendly. And to do that, I'm going to set this to be slugify title. Close this up. Thereafter, I will do input underscore path. For this one, I'm going to use os.path.join. First, I will set the media. You know, we set our media route in our settings, and inside the media, I'm going to set another folder downloads that will be created for the first time if it doesn't exist when this code is called upon to run. So for this one, I'm going to set a formatted string, and inside the formatted string, I'm going to set the sanitize underscore title.format. Now, but for this format, it should be inside this curly bracket, just like that. Okay, then let me close up this. So first of all, let's remove this curly bracket. Sorry, the comma there. Okay, now this one is for the input part. Now let me set for the output part, os.join media. But for this one, I'm going to set it to be for the converted. What it's going to do is also create a converted folder for me if it does not exist for the first time when this code is run in our media directory. And inside this one, we'll also use formatted string sanitize title.format, just the same way we set the one for input. After we do this, I'm going to create directories if they don't exist, and to do that, I'm going to do os.make directories. For this one, I'm going to set it to be os.path, then the directory name. First of all, let me set for input before we set for output. Input path here, I'm going to set it to be exist, okay, equals to true. Then the next one we'll also do for the output part. Now the next thing I'm going to set is to download our video or audio files. Now for this one, I'm going to use try, and inside this try, I'm going to create this function later on. I'm going to create it below the download video. Let me call it download video, and inside here I will set URL and input underscore path, then format. Okay, oops, format. Those are the three things I will need. And in my except, I'm going to use exception as E, and I will return response. Fail to download video, then we'll set the HTTP 500 internal server error. Okay, now I want to set another statement that's going to ensure if the file exists before conversion. So statement to ensure file exists before conversion. So we'll not be having a situation whereby we convert files that have already been converted. So what I'm going to do here is if not dot exist impute path, then I want it to return response error failed to down. Okay, for this I'm going to set it to be download file does not exist. So by a situation whereby if you're doing this for production, you might not need to set this, because sometimes somebody might decide to convert a file multiple times, and if you set this, it might be having issues with you. You might just decide to ignore this. But for the development purpose, since it's something that has to do with your system, that's why I'm setting this. So we'll not have a situation whereby a file that is already converted, we keep on re-downloading it. It doesn't really make sense. This is going to prevent that for you. So what I'm going to do, once I set this particular function, if not os.path.exist, then the impute path, we will try to convert the file. Now when we set this, we will try to convert file, and to convert the file, I'm going to do try, and for my try I will set if format is okay. Let me set if format in for MP4, then IVI. Okay, then move this one, we are going to handle MP3 separately. What I want to do here is to then use the FFmpeg. For the FFmpeg, I will do FFmpeg.impute, and inside it I will assign the impute part, then dot output. For the output, I will set output part, then comma, I set the video bitrate. I'm going to set it to be 15k, then close this dot run, initialize. Now what I'm going to do is to do elif. For my elif, I'm going to check if the format is MP3, not WAV. I'm not setting for a WAV. You can decide to set for WAV. I'm just making provision for MP3 here. For WAV, I'm going to do the same thing. FFm impute, then the impute part dot output, then set this one to be okay. Let's remove this one. This is not what I wanted. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to set the audio underscore bitrate to be equals to 320k. So I'm trying to get the best quality. Okay, let's set it to be 92k, then dot run. Okay, when we are done with this, I will do my except. For my except, I'm not going to now use exception. I will use the FFmpeg dot error, FFmpeg dot error as E. And what I'm going to do here is to do error underscore message. Let me bring this up a bit. Error underscore message, I will set it to be E, then dot, I'm going to say E dot std error, then dot decode. I don't need to put UTF, but I will do if E, then dot std error. Else I'm going to set it to be error decoding. I will go ahead and return response error. Then finally, for my finally, I'm going to do if os dot path dot exist, but not for output. This should be input underscore path. I will do os dot remove input path. I'm gonna return the correct URL for the media file that have been converted, and for this one I'm going to set it to be converted file URL. Set it to be a formatted string. Inside the formatted string we'll have request dot build absolute underscore URL. For this absolute underscore URL, inside it I will set the media path correctly. Make sure you set that correctly. Slash, we created a path for converted, and inside this one I'm going to do a plus and add the sanitized underscore title, then plus again. I'm going to set this to be empty, but I'm going to put dot here, then put another plus for the format. Okay, let me bring this up a little, and let me put this here. Yeah, so this is it. I'm setting the converted file URL that will enable us to download the video. This should be URI, not URL. I will return a response. The response is gonna have return response, and in this response I'm going to have the converted file URL, set it to be converted file URL, comma, come here and set a status to be 200. But instead of setting it just 200, I'm going to use status. We imported status when we were building, then use status.htp 200. Okay, set this to be a string. Can't have that to be that way. Okay, so our function is ready, but before we even cross check and make sure everything looks good, I'm going to set the download video function I initialized there with the URL input pattern format. And to do that, I'm going to do download underscore video. That's the name of the function, and inside it I'm going to add URL and also add the output underscore path, comma, then add format. I don't need to set it to none, just this way. Inside this function I will do ytl underscore opt. For this underscore opt, I'm going to set this function to be, okay, let's put it this way. The first should be format here, but I'm not going to set it just this way. I'm going to set it to be best. Inside this best, I will then do if format in MP4, then RV, then move. Okay, it should be best audio slash best. Okay, so I'm trying to get the best audio with this function. That's why I'm setting it this way. And for the output TMPL, I'm going to set it this output path. Then I'm going to add the no playlist key. For this no playlist key, I'm going to set it to be true. We are using the yt-dlp, and inside this yt-dlp, we are pulling up the information using the ydl underscore. With this setup, we can be able to download either the video MP4 or whatever format that comes, and we'll get the best audio. Okay, now let's come back, start from up, so we can cross check and make sure there's no issue with everything we have built here. If there is any issue, we'll correct them before we go ahead and set up our endpoints. So the first thing I'm going to do is to look up this video info and make sure everything we have here is correct. The first function we set is for the post, where we are setting self request arguments and keywords arguments, then request.data.get the URL, and if not URL, will return error URL. Okay, this one looks good. Now the next function is for the convert video, which we are also using the API view, and for this one I'm using post self request. Okay, everything here looks good. Now let's look at the try, which is for the download video from YouTube. This one is for extract, not download, so that I will not confuse you guys with this comment. Okay, so for this one, what we are also using is the yt-dlp then .youtube.dl. Okay, for this one, just to make this to appear properly, should be failed to extract video, because at this moment I'm just extracting before we then download. Okay, then this one is for our downloading the video, where I set this download video function that we created below. So for this e.stderror.decode, we are trying to decode the exact error from our FFmpeg.error. That's why I'm using the stderror.decode to do that for me. It is a standard Python itinerary, something that you use to decode the exact error. So that's why I'm setting it here. So for the error message, I'm doing e.stderror.decode. Then I initialize if stderror, then finally if OS, we'll go ahead and remove. Then we'll set our converted file URL, where we are doing request.build underscore absolute URI, and we'll return converted file URI. Okay, then the function for the download video, we have already cross-checked that. Save this. Now let's open up our URLs. I don't need to, we have how many functions here? We only have the video info, the convert video, and the download video. And because of these three functions, I don't need to set up any URLs in our converter app. I'm just going to go ahead with the urls.py of our project, clear this up so we can have this. So I'm going to import the views directly from converter. Okay, .views. I will import all, so we can have all the views imported here, right? From Django dot conf. For this conf, I'm going to import settings because we are going to set our media root here. Okay, the next thing I'm going to import is static. So I'm going to do from Django .conf, then .urls, then .static, dot static will import static, just like that. Admin can still be on top. Set the next part. The first part I'm going to set is the one for our convert, and for this convert, let's close the endpoint, comma. I'm going to set it to be convert video. That's the name of the function, but I'm going to set .as view, initialize the function. Then for the name, I will set the name to be equals to convert video, close it. The next part is the one for our video info, so I'm going to call this one to be get video info. Okay, now let me close this one too. For this one, I'm going to get the video info dot as view, then get video info. Okay, so these are the three parts I need, with two parts I mean with the admin. Now for here, I'm going to set static, and inside the static I'm going to set settings, no, not installed apps, dot the media URL. You know, we set our media URL in our settings, so that's what I'm trying to import here, so we can make it available in our endpoint to access. So when you set this properly, make sure you do it properly so you don't have any issues. Send settings.media URL, then document underscore root. Oops, let's zoom again. Document, then equals to settings media. I think everything is good to go. We don't need to run any migration or even migrate because we are not doing anything on our database, in as much as we are handling media files. I don't think we have to run. Okay, but let's try and do migration. Python manage.py, migrate, and see if there's anything we have to migrate for. I doubt. Unterminated string literal detected at line 80. Okay, it's good that it's showing us this error so we can go and fix it. Let's go to line 80 and see what's wrong there. Okay, I think the problem is because of what I did here, so let's bring this back a little. Bring it back there. Let's leave it this way. Open up again. Let's try to migrate. Okay, yeah, we have done migrations of the sections and all that. Now clear. I think everything looks good. We have set up our endpoints, and now we can try to test run what we have built in our backend to see if it is working. If our backend works, that means we will not have any issue with our front end. Python manage.py will run server. I'm going to use Postman to test run. I think I have some of these endpoints already on my Postman. Okay, so now this one is for convert. Let's try to test run for convert. In our body, we can try to post something. I already have this particular post here that I added before. So even before, what I can do, I don't know if I have the one for get video info. Okay, so let's add another one. Copy this, paste it here, and change this to be get video info. Okay, let's do get first and see. Okay, get is not allowed, but it's okay. That is not what I want to achieve. Now we are going to do post. Let's post this and see if we can pull up this information. Change this to post. Video URL is required. Okay, so show me the body. Okay, so if you come to form data, or let's go to raw, just like this, keep it on raw. Let me paste this, but I don't need to set the format. All I need is just the URL this way. Now if I send this, you should be able to pull up, okay, expecting property name enclosed in double quotes. Okay, so let's remove this comma I put there. Now let's send it again. Okay, as you can see, let me bring this up. You can see exploring Lagos, Nigeria travel. I think that this is from TikTok. You can see the duration, the thumbnail. That means our get info is working. If I want to download this video now, I can go back to the convert video. Since I want to download the format to be 3, the same way I handle this one, I can do send. so we can go ahead and download this file as MP3 for me. Yeah, so you can see the file has been converted. If we go back here, you'll see what happened in our terminal. A whole lot of things have happened. That means everything in our code is actually working properly. And let's go back to Postman. If I want to pull up this video now, if I click on this link, it takes me to another endpoint where the video, I can send it to get this particular audio for me. So this is the audio. Yeah, so if I want, I can go ahead and download, but because this is Postman, I cannot download from Postman. That's why it's not showing. So I'm going to cancel this, close that endpoint. Don't save. Okay, so we have tested the endpoint. I can close Postman. I just wanted to test that before we continue with our front end. Now that we have tested this and our backend is working, let's quickly set up our front end. Okay, so for our front end, I'm using Vite because Vite makes things easier when you're building React. So for this, I'm going to do npm create Vite at latest, hit enter. Okay. Yes, now it's asking me for the project name, so I will use front end here, and I will select, let's use React and also JavaScript. Then we will cd into front end. Once we cd into front end, we'll do npm install so that it can install the package.json file for us and other dependencies we will need to work with React. Okay, the packages has been installed. I will go ahead and clear this out. If you open up this now, let's close this, and we have the front end. Our front end, we have our package.json, all the different packages, so we can start building our front end. The first thing I'm going to do is to open up our public. In our source, I will add another folder. Let's call it component, then add another one for our styles. Let's correct the spelling. Styles. Let me create another folder, pages. Okay, so these are the 3 folders I need to create. I can close down the terminal. We are not running that yet. So now the first thing I'm going to do is to set up my navbar. Even before I set up my navbar, I don't need this particular app.css. So I'm going to, okay, yeah, let's delete it. I don't need it. But inside my index.css, clear it out and paste my own index.css. I'm not going to be showing you guys anything I do in CSS. I'm just going to focus on building the React for you, not styling it. But I'll just paste all the different CSS I used for you, so you can use. As usual, I'll always make the codes available on GitHub. There's nothing to hide from you because I'm here to help you. So go to my GitHub, you'll see everything you need there. So save this and close down the index.css. Now in our app.js, I can remove this. I don't need this anymore. In fact, I'm going to remove everything here and set up my own set up my own app.js at the right time. But before I do that, let's go back to our components. In our components, I'm going to create a file, call it navbar.js, just like this. Inside the navbar.js, I will import. Okay, before we even continue, there is some things I need to do, and one of them is we will need Axios, and we also need the React router DOM, because inside our package.json we have not installed the React router DOM yet. So to do that, I will do npm install Axios, then also React router DOM, just like this. So while this is installing, I will import my React. Okay, so let's clear this and try it again. I made a mistake. I wrote route instead of router. Correct, and hit enter. While this is installing, the first thing I'm going to do is to import React here. Next, I will import link from React router DOM. I think the installations are done. Okay, let's open up our package.json. So the packages have been installed. I think it's high time I upgrade my node because my node version is low. After this particular project, I'm going to be upgrading my node, but we can go ahead and try with what we have. Okay, I have already imported React. The next thing is to import link from React router DOM. I'm going to come to our pages. Let me add my not found page, not found.jss, and come to our styles to add the not found.css. As usual, I will paste the CSS, close, come back to the not found JSS. I will import the styles. Okay, so save this, then we'll close, come back to our app.js. Now I can remove all of these and start rebuilding our app.js. Now the first thing I need to do is to import React. From React, I will also import browser router. I will also import route. Let's come below and export default app. Add C. Okay, so if you save these up and we try to do npm run dev now, let's see how far we have come and see if there's any error. So if we go back to our terminal in this home, okay, failed to resolve, components not found from. Okay, so let's go back. Something is definitely wrong. Not found. So how did I create the not? Okay, the way it imported this is wrong. It should import not found from pages. So if we go back now, nothing is showing up. Our navbar is not showing up because something is still wrong. It's meant to show me the details of what we have in our navbar. Let's open up our inspect and we go to console. We are seeing home is not defined. Did I specify home somewhere? Okay, I added home here. Let's remove this home since we don't have it yet. That's why we are not seeing our navbar. Save. Let's go back. Okay, so we can see our navbar now. We are seeing the 404 page not found. The page you're looking for does not exist, which is okay. We'll get there. Now, the next thing I'm going to start doing is to build our home. So in our pages, I'm going to add the home.js, and as usual in our styles, I will add the home.css. As usual, I will paste the CSS, which I'm not showing you guys. You can look for the CSS in my GitHub. Close down this. Now in our home.js, this is where we are going to build some certain things we will need to connect with our backend. Import React. Then aside from importing React, I will also use state because we are going to be needing that from React, and we also import Axios from Axios. Lastly, we'll import the CSS we created styles, then /home.css, just like that. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is set const home, and this one I'm going to use arrow function. Inside this my function, I will first of all set the one for our video URL, then I will set video URL. Okay, now let's start setting the first function. The first function I'm going to set right here is the one for our fetch video. So for that, I will do const fetch video info, but I will use async here because we have to get the URL, and inside my async I will set the URL for the, then I will use an arrow function. Okay, so now our fetch video is ready. We will then handle submit. For the const handle submit, I will do const handle submit, but I'm also going to use async here. Once we are done with this, we'll then set the converted file URL to be response.data.converted file URL. Now, where I'm getting that is not meant to be this file URL because that's not what we have in our backend. So let's go to our views and see the way we handle it. Yeah, so you see the way we handle our response, it is converted file URL. So this is what we will use. Copy it, come back here and change it to be converted file URL. Set converted file URL to be response.data.converted file URL. Thereafter, we'll set error again to be empty, which means we are clearing. I will catch an error, console error converting video, and set error converting video. Okay, this is good. Okay, now let's come down again. The next function I'm now going to set is the one that's going to handle const, handle fetch info, and for this one I'm going to also set the event. Next, I will handle the one for convert another, so that a situation whereby we are done converting video, we can click a button that will redirect us back to the home to convert another video. So I'm going to call this one handle convert another. Now the next thing is to then do return. For this return, let me bring this up. This is where we are going to set up the form itself, right? So for this one, what I'm going to do here is set a div. For this div, I'm going to add a class name, set it to be home, which is the way I added it in my CSS. Thereafter, we'll set header, but I'm not going to add any class name in my header here. For this header, I will add my h1. Inside the h1, I will add online media converter. Okay, below the header, I will add a main tag. For the main tag, I will add a section. Inside my section, we can add a class, as class name to be converter dash form. Now inside this my section, what I'm going to do here, first of all, set my error. For the error, I will put another div. For this one, I will add class name to be error message error. Then below, I will add the if is not converted file URL and is not video info, just like that. What will happen is we'll add the form. The form we want here should be on submit. Don't need the action on submit. I will set the on submit to be handle fetch info. Inside this form itself, let's enter video info. I don't need the label. Let's just maintain this, but to make it appear so you guys can see. So it's a test. The ID is video URL. Then the button is submit, then fetch video info. For this one, what I would do here is to then say if it is not converted file URL and video info, what I want to happen here is I will bring another form. For this form, on submit we will handle submit. Then I can change this to be h3 video information, and inside the video information, okay, this whole thing here is kind of not what I want to see, because at this moment what I'm trying to do is to show the information first, then before the, okay, you know what, let me leave everything here. But before all these things, after this h3, I will add a p tag, and inside it I will add strong. I will add title video info, then dot title. Close this. Let's duplicate, so we can do for duration, change this one to be duration and video dot duration. The next thing I'm going to add below here is for the thumbnail, and for the thumbnail I'm going to do video dot info dot thumbnail. I will put img here. Inside this my img, I will set the source, but inside my source I will add video info dot thumbnail, then add my, but instead of this I can just add it to be video thumbnail. Let me also set a class name here to be video thumbnail. Close this. The image tag, if I want, I can zoom this back so you can see everything. Now once we are done with this, then these other settings can come. I can even put a label here. For the label, I will set it to be for format, and inside it I will add choose format. So the first thing I'm going to have in this format is the select. For the name of the select, we'll put format. For the ID, we'll also put format. Let me bring this down here. Now for the value, let me set value to also be format. And what else? Unchange. I will set the unchange to be event, and I'll set my arrow function inside it. Then I'll set format e.target.value. Okay, this is also meant to be required normally. Okay, so the next one is to now set option. Let me remove all of this and just do everything. Add this as download link, then here the href converted file URL. Then I will set the download to be equals to, I'm gonna set it to be converted file. Okay, so that inside here I'm gonna add this button, but I don't need to, yeah, just leave the button the way it is there. But yeah, bring this back. I'm gonna add another button here. For this button I'm gonna add download. Okay, let's just call it download converted file, but for this I'm going to set a class name. Now let me add a break here so that there can be break. Let me add one more break too. Now this one is going to handle for our convert another. I'm also going to add a class name here. Let's bring this down here so we can have it this way. Convert another file or another video, whatever. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is to come below here and I will add the loading, bring a div. Okay, so once I'm done with all these things, I'll come below and just add a footer the way I did what I showed you guys. Okay, so below here we will now export the default home. Now let's cross check and make sure everything is properly set up. Export default home. Now let's go above and see. Let's start from here first. Let's look at all these our inputs to make sure there's no error. The first thing I did was to set the input that will help us to check if the URL is valid. If it is valid, it will fetch the video info. Let me add a placeholder here. Inside my placeholder I will add dummy stuff just to show how a video link from YouTube or any other website you have the URL you want to pull up the video from. I feel like everything here looks good, but what we tell is when we start testing and see. So I'm going to do Ctrl Z so we can return the route for home. Then I'll go ahead and import it here. Now if we open up our terminal, everything looks good here. Let's go back and see. Okay, so this is what we have now. Now let's try copy this link and see if our code is working as expected. Error fetching video info. Now if I try to inspect, we'll see if there's anything in our console. Error getting video. The server responded with a status 404. Get video info not allowed. Method not allowed. Okay, so at least we are getting somewhere. Now if we come here, let's see, get video info. In our urs.py, what do we have? Let's see what we have. Get video info. Okay, the endpoint is correct. Now let's go back to our home.js and see. Okay, now let's correct this. This should be post, not get. That is why it is showing this method not allowed, because I'm not handling anything get there. It's just to post and get me the information. That's why it's showing error fetching video info. Please try again. If I close down this now, let's go back. Now for this other one, it's also meant to be post. Yeah, so let's save, go back. Now if we refresh and we paste this link again and see, it's taking some time. Okay, this is our video details. That means we have successfully pulled up the video info and we are currently displaying, which is a good start. Now, to also test to make sure that the video downloader and the video converter is working, let's try to download this as a normal MP4 video. Now let's convert that. See, please wait. We are waiting now to see what's happening in our backend and see if there was there was a connection, because the download process is currently going on, so which is a good feeling. So we'll just wait while the whole process goes on. Yeah, downloading. Okay, downloading is currently going on 100%. Okay, if I bring this up so you guys can see what's happening here. Okay, so our converting has happened and we are now seeing download converted file, download converted video, convert another. Okay, let's click on download converted file. Okay, so this is it. If I click on download now, boom, I have successfully downloaded this video. Good start, and we are back to home. If I also want to download this as an MP3, I can do the same thing. Paste back the link, fetch the video info the same way we did. Remember, you can download videos that are not from YouTube with this particular product. So it's not only for YouTube. If I pull up a link from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I can still download the video, but I'm just using YouTube to test. So let's go to MP3 convert video. Sorry, please wait. Let's also make sure something downloading. Web creator player, API JSON. Good start. Okay, our downloading has happened. Now if I want to download converted file, I'll go ahead and download. This is the audio of the same video. Once I download, boom, I can return back to the home. As simple as that. So guys, this is how to build your online media converter. If this video was helpful, please remember to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, like, and also drop your comments. If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask me. I will try to respond to you when I see your comment. And thank you for watching and supporting my video. See you next time. Till we meet again, it's bye bye for now. I remain your humble servant, Joshi Vibe. Peace out.